What's up, Ian here, and this is my review for the Hiby R3 Pro Saber 2022 version. Now, before I begin, I'd like to thank Hi-Fi Go for sending this to me and making this video possible. But guys, rest assured that whatever I say in this video is my own opinion. This video is not scripted, and Hi-Fi Go will be watching this video together with you guys. Okay, so the Hiby R3 Pro Saber. So this one is an updated version of the previous model, right? And it's currently retailing for $209 US. For those of you who are interested, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. So as usual, I will go through the accessories, the design and build quality of this. I'll go through the specifications, the build quality, and then I'll talk about the sound performance as well. Okay, right, this video will be timestamped, so for those of you who wish to skip around, please feel free to do so. Right, so let's talk about the box first. Comes in a box like this. Very nice box, very nice presentation of the DAP, right? I'm going to call this a DAP, a digital audio player. Okay, DAP. So yeah, this is the box, right? Nothing much to talk about the box. Then on the inside, you'll find a user guide, which is this one. Okay, the instructions, and then you got some paperwork, QC check, and then extra screen protectors. Okay, already installed, which you can't see, I don't know if you can see, is a layer of screen protector at the back as well, because the back is also glass. Okay, so there's a layer of screen protector at the back already. Okay, then it comes with a protective case. Now this protective case will protect the back, okay, at the same time the sides, the two sides, but the top and bottom is not protected lah. Okay, for obvious reasons. You have your ports on top and bottom, so you can't block them, but yeah, it only protects the sides. Okay, and then you've got your charging cable. So this is the USB-C to USB-A charging cable, right? And you got your player itself. All right, so let's talk about the design and build quality of this player. So basically, on the outside, it's actually aluminum, right, and is anodized black. By the way, it comes in 3 colors, right? This one is the black one. You also have the red and the gray, okay, or the silver, silvery gray. So I prefer the black. I like black, right? So this is the black one that they sent me. On the top end here, you see 2 ports, headphone jacks. One is the 2.5 balance output, and the other is a 3.5 single-ended output. On this side here, you'll find the volume rocker, okay, volume up and down. Right at the back here, bottom, right, the bottom here, you'll find SD card, right? So this is the SD card slot, okay, and then this part here is the USB-C charging port. At the same time, USB signal in and out, I guess. You can actually transfer files into this lah, okay. And then for this side, which is on the right side, you have your power button, okay, and then you have your play and pause, and your forward and backwards, okay. So that's for the buttons. In terms of build wise, I find that this is very well built, good quality, and is lightweight. Okay, so if you guys remember, I've bought this R5 Gen 2. So this is the R5 Gen 2. As you can see, it's quite beat up, but it's still quite good condition because I protect it, right? And this one is 500 at the time of purchase lah. It's $550 US. It's almost, in fact, more than double the price of this R3. Okay, so I would say in terms of price wise, right, this is actually very affordable, and I like the screen. So the screen is nice and bright. The quality of the screen is nice and bright. If you look at the screen of the R5 Gen 2, you can see a difference. Okay, and yeah, this is actually brighter if you look at it, right? The R3 is brighter than R5. I'm not too sure why, but I've already maxed out the brightness. If you look at this, right, the brightness has gone up all the way, and including this one went up all the way as well. So yeah, I actually find that this is brighter than the R5. Okay, so very good screen, very good build quality as well, and it's compact, it's small, it's lightweight, and it's pocketable. This is a very good selling point for this, because you can bring it anywhere. You can put it in your pocket. You don't need to bring a pouch or anything like that. But for this, it's quite bulky lah, to be honest. And this is not my phone. I have to carry a few devices with me, which is my phone. I have to carry this as well, and honestly, this adds to the bulk. It's quite big. That's why I've got to come out here. So I'm actually mounting this on my car. But yeah, so this is quite bulky lah. But this one is very light. Alright, I can put it in my pocket, and I don't feel the bulk in my pocket. I don't feel my pants sagging. At the same time, I can also one hand operate this device. So if you look at it, right, I can use my finger, and then I can go into all the different settings with just one hand. Okay, but for this one, and you see, if I swipe up, swipe down, it's quite easy to handle lah. But for this one, I will need to, hold with two hands and then swipe up, swipe down. It's kind of hard to operate with one hand. Okay, I got to have a very good finesse to really handle this. Okay, so yeah, the thing about the R5, but this one is very easy to handle, very compact, and very easy to maneuver. Okay, so I like the build quality and the design of this. Very easy to, very ergonomic to handle and to palm. Okay, I find that it's easy to palm, as you can see, and yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's for the build quality and design of this. Now let's talk about the features of this and the specifications lah. So basically, this is a DAP, a digital audio player, dedicated to play your audio files. Okay, so basically it's not just MP3. It can play files all the way up to resolution of 32-bit, up to 384 kilohertz. It can play DSD files, it can play MQA, and a whole lot of FLAC files, and of course WAV and all that lah. So it plays a lot of different file formats. Okay, and at the same time, it's got MQA 16 times unfolding. Okay, and also it's got Bluetooth, right? So Bluetooth both ways. It can receive Bluetooth, it can also transmit Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth codec it uses is LDAC, AAC, AAC, SBC, and aptX X. Okay, and the best part, UAT. Now UAT is Hiby's in-house type of codec, and the devices need to be, both devices, the transmitting and the receiving device, like for example this one, the WU1, right? This is also made by Hiby. This is the WU1, and it needs to be able to receive UAT for this to transmit UAT. So the two of them can talk, so sort of lah. Okay, so basically you need to have that two device to work. But if you don't have, then of course this is LDAC, and of course your other earphones need to have LDAC as well. The receiver needs to have LDAC, like this one. This one has got LDAC. Okay, so once your earphones have LDAC and your player has LDAC, then they can talk to each other. Okay, and then at the same time you can actually also change the type of Bluetooth codec. Okay, this is the preferred one, so you can actually change the preferred codec from LDAC all the way to UAT, to aptX X, to AAC and SBC. Okay, that's it. Now for the DAC chip, the DAC chip on this is the new ES9219 DAC chip. Okay, now the one on this R5 is also the ES9219, but it's got a C, right? So this is a lower version of this DAC chip. So this is more of an updated DAC chip as compared to the R5 lah. Okay, so it's a newer DAC chip as compared to R5. So I find that this DAC chip it performs really well. Okay, which I'll talk about later in the sound. Okay, and yeah, so this is actually Hiby's own OS, as you can see now, right? This is their own built-in OS. You can't install any other apps on this player. You only can use their app. And then let's just go through their app itself lah. So you can update the database. I'm not going to tap this, because if I tap this, it will run through all my card again. So basically, I have my card. I loaded all my songs in here. So there's a few ways of transferring your songs to this player. You can actually take out the SD card and then put it onto your computer and then transfer all the songs there. Or you can connect this to your PC and transfer the songs through the PC. Or you can go through wireless. Okay, so you can actually you can tap on this, and you will then be asked to connect to Wi-Fi and turn on your Wi-Fi settings. Okay, you can turn on your Wi-Fi, and then once you're connected to your Wi-Fi, it will not this one. But one thing about this buttons, right, is a bit too small. I've got fat fingers. Okay, so once it's connected, you can actually key this code, this URL code, into your computer, and then you'll start to talk to each other, and then you can start to receive songs into your player. Okay, so that's the thing here. And then you have a few other things like equalizer. You can change the equalizing, the tuning of your whatever you're listening to. At the same time, there's MSEB, whereby this one will enable you to change the overall system-wide color temperature, the tone, overall temperature of the music that you're listening to, the bass, the note thickness, the vocals, the whatever overtones, the female, even the sibilance. You can adjust the impulse response. Well, with all this slider lah. Okay, so basically you can adjust to the sound that you like to listen to. Okay, so that's for the MSEB. And then there's also the pedometer or pedometer, depends how you pronounce it, but I don't really use this pedometer lah. It's like count your steps. Okay, and then there's also the wireless settings. So there's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, DLNA. So if your house or whatever network you're connected to has got a DLNA server, it will detect that DLNA server, and then it will be able to play whatever content or songs that is on your server. You also have AirPlay, which I've not tried this, and also Hiby Link. So when you turn this on, you can actually control this player using another device. Okay, so this is like a remote lah, basically. Right, so that's for that. And then the play settings, you can actually change the play settings. The play mode, you can actually play your playlist. Okay, and then, or you can loop your track, you can shuffle, you can choose that, and that's it. Right, you can shuffle everything. The output, right, so this one you can choose PO. Right, you can actually choose to connect to an amplifier or something like that, and this will then connect directly to amplifier. Okay, now I've got nothing connected lah. Okay, so that's why it's not saying anything. And then you have your DSD output mode. You can choose whether you want PCM or you want native. Right, DSD gain, you can change for that as well, the compensation. And then you can resume play from where? From your track or your position, up to you. Okay, you can also choose gapless playback, and the maximum digital volume. Okay, you can go up to maybe 50. If you want to play safe, you don't want to blast your ears, you can put it as 100, or you can reduce it to maybe 70%, right, so that it will not damage your ears. Okay, and then you got your fixed power on volume, and you can change it to the memory from 0 to 70. And then you can also have crossfade in between songs. Okay, gain, you can change the gain as well. I think for this one you can't change. And then you got replay gain. You can change the gain based on the track that you listen to, or by the album itself. That means for the entire album, you'll be based on this gain, right? And the balance as well, digital player filter. You can play through your folders, play through your album. You can repeat the function, and can speed play as well, which I have not played around with that lah. Okay, all right, so you see my fat fingers. Right, so that's for the play settings. And then you got your system settings. Okay, so your system settings will show you your battery percentage, your standby mode. You have your inline remote. Okay, which you can actually use it as a remote. Your status LED, which is this one right here, you can turn it on off. Now it's red. Okay, and then you have your recording steps. Not going to turn that on. You got your screensavers as well. You can change your screensaver. You can rotate your screen, which I'm not going to change that. Restore to factory settings. You can update. All right, so there's update as well. So you can either update via the SD card or via OTA. I've just updated my firmware, so it's the latest update. All right, the latest firmware. Oh, one thing I missed out is the language. So you can actually choose Chinese, Japanese, Korean, French, Dutch, Espanol, Italian, Thai, Polish, and Russian. Okay, see, these are the few languages that is available, and yeah, so these are the few things that you can adjust, like USB mode. So when you USB mode, when you connect it to your computer, or when it becomes into a USB mode, it can either be a storage, or you can choose to become an audio player, which means this becomes the DAC of the whatever device that you are using, or you can use it as dock. Okay, and then you can use the USB current limit. You can change it. You don't limit the current from pulling out the juice from this device. Time setting, idle, time off, you can change that. Sleep timer, battery percentage, standby time, inline remote. Okay, yeah, I think I went through all that already. Okay, and that's about it for this device. Now on this player itself, you can actually choose, right, either your files. Okay, so this is the audio, right, and then you can choose your playlist. Okay, your recent playlist. Okay, and then you can go to Tidal as well. I don't have Tidal, so I'm not using Tidal. You can log in your Tidal just by scanning. All right, you can search for your songs, and you can, this is the player itself lah. Okay, so when you're playing, it will show you what you're playing, right? Just like playing this. Okay, it can show you what you're playing. Okay, and yeah, so you can actually, during the play screen, if you like the song, you can heart or choose it, make it a favorite. Okay, and then next time it will be in your favorite list lah. Alright, so very easy to use screen and user interface. Very nice user interface, I would say, and shows a very nice artwork of the whatever songs you are playing. Okay, Hans Zimmer, it shows everything lah. So it's a very, very nice compact player. Now let's talk about the sound performance of this. So what I did was I listened to wired. So I connected using the 2.5 balanced output. I also listened to normal 3.5 output, and I listened to a lot of my true wireless earbuds. Okay, and also to my this WU1. Okay, so these are the players that I've listened to with this DAP, right? So now how does this sound? So this one sounds linear, right? I would say very clean and lean type of sound, right? Some players like for a DAC, which I have here, which is the Hi-Fi Hip DAC 2, which is this one. Okay, so this Hi-Fi Hip DAC 2, it plays more of the DAC chip in here plays more of a warm and heavy type of tone and timbre. But for this one, it produces more of a linear and light tone and timbre, which you can actually adjust here with the MSEB. Okay, so you can actually add more warmth to it, add more weight to it. Okay, which is over here. Overall temperature, overall listening temperature, it can be more cool and bright, warm and dark. Okay, then for the bass itself, I find that the bass on this player is also thin. Yeah, it's a bit thin and light. Alright, so bass on this is thin and light with default settings lah. With default settings, and it's actually quite similar to the R5. So I'm actually very familiar with the R5 Gen 2, and whatever I'm listening on this R3 Pro, it sounds very similar to the R5. Same sound signature, very dry kind of bass, and the mids as well is light in note lah, light in note weight. It's not a warm sounding type of sound or music that it will give you. And then treble wise, treble I find that is also quite thin lah. Now the good thing about the R5, or what this R5 is superior to this R3 is the amp. Okay, so the R5 has got a built-in Class A amp, which it's actually it's a godsend for me. I am actually very used to the Class A amp on this, and it gives the sound or whatever music they're listening to more body, more substance, and more oomph to it, alright, because with that Class A amp. Unfortunately, this does not have a Class A amp built in, right? It does have independent crystal oscillators, but that's about it. So it's not as full in terms of the sound that it produces, okay, but it's still got that same sound signature and the timbre that this one has, which is the R5. Okay, so what I conclude is that this is more of a clinical and analytical listening experience. So if you like listening to classical and you like listening to jazz and more of a detailed listening, then this is actually a very good option to go for. Okay, but if you want more warmth, you want more of a fun sound and more of a heavier note, then you can add it in, adjust it in the MSEB. Okay, but by default this is more of an analytical and linear type of sound signature that it produces lah. Okay, now talk about sound stage. Right, sound stage on this is a bit wider, from what I hear. Okay, it's a bit wider than the R5. Okay, it's got a bigger more open space as compared to the R5. Unfortunately, these are the two depths that I have on my hand, so these are the two that I can compare with. But yeah, so this is what I hear. So actually, for $200 or $209 in terms of technicalities lah, the sound performance of the DAC chip on this is actually pretty good, right? Considering that this is $500, but this is obviously, I mean, a better performer lah, no doubt. Is $500 with a Class A amp in it. This one doesn't have a Class A amp in it. So yeah, but in terms of whatever sound that it produces, in terms of the depth and the DAC, it's pretty good, right? So who do I recommend this for, and do I recommend it? Yes, I recommend it. I recommend it for, well, beginners, right? Those of you who wants to try this hobby, right, and you want to get something, a player, this is actually a very good option to go for. It's only $209, and if you're on a tight budget, okay, this is also a good option to go for. You don't need to spend a few $1,000s on the Sony depths or some other more expensive depths. Even Hiby have a very high-end depth, which you don't need. All right, this is actually a very good entry-level budget depth that you can consider. And for those of you who wants portability, all right, this is a very good option for portability. You don't want to carry, I mean, for those seasoned audio hobby guys, right, I'm sure you have your depth, right, your go-to depth, and which is big, bulky, and heavy. This one is gonna sag your pants, okay, but this one is nice and light, and you can operate it with a single hand. So find that this is actually a very good option if you want something more portable and lighter and easier to handle. Okay, alright, so that concludes my overall review for this Hiby R3 Pro Saber 2022 version. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.